Welcome live. What's up, fellas?
What's happening, man?
Yo,
Good
what's
to
going
be back.
on?
Sunni Jennings here, Sports Talk Live for the Culture with Jonathan Moore. What's up, Jonathan?
What's up? What's up? We here?
Doug Scott.
Yo.
Duke. What's up,
happening?
man?
I'm
How's
here.
it going?
All the way in.
Hot and heavy. The weather's starting to change, kinda. It's fickle. It's going back and forth, definitely. But we're here, Sports Talk Live for the Culture. Another session, and we got a lot to talk about. A lot has transpired.
Whole lot.
A whole lot has transpired
Whole
since our
lot.
last meeting. We said these NBA playoffs we're going to grind down, and we want to find out who was for real.
Before we even get into the mix, can we give a big shout out to the mothers? Happy Mother's
Happy
Day.
Mother's
Happy
Day.
Mother's Day. Not
Absolutely.
the mother that drops the kids off and disappears. Not the mother that locks the kid in a room and plays with electronics all day, but the mother that is straight sacrificing for the betterment of the child. Happy Mother's Day. You are very necessary.
Happy Mother's Day, Mom, out there.
Oh yeah.
Definitely. We're going to drop in NBA playoffs. And it's been very interesting. Very interesting. A lot of storylines, a lot of things, moving into next year is going to be very interesting. We got the brackets, and they're dwindling down. But, the two best words in sports, Game 7.
Game 7.
Game 7.
Game 7.
It's not a game 8.
Best of 7 series, 2 Game 7s tomorrow in the NBA. And the first one is close to my heart because, I'm Sixers Nation. The Philadelphia 76ers and the Toronto Raptors, Game 7 in Toronto. It's been a back and forth series. Toronto won Game 1. The Sixers in Toronto won Game 2. Squeaked one by. Didn't look very commanding in Game 3, winning Philadelphia. And then looked like they had taken control of the series. Then Toronto comes back and gets Game 4. And you're like, uh-oh. And then Toronto, very dominant Game 5 win. Really looked like they just ran the Sixers out of the building, a 36-point victory. And you're saying, okay, now is they going to close Philadelphia out in Philly? Philly gets hype, holds down, and beats Toronto. And now they're going back Game 7 on Sunday night. Been a lot of storylines in this series, and especially with the Sixers, and especially with Joel Embiid. Trying to talk about the maturity process. There was some sickness, there was some illness, there was some morning calls to the coaches. The head coach Brett Brown, I'm sick, I don't feel well. All kind of rumors going around, but if I don't see it on video, then I don't believe those rumors. How late you're hanging out, because everybody got a phone now. If you don't see it on video, you kind of hard to believe. Like if you out somewhere late, somebody then tweeted that photo out.
Oh, yeah,
somewhere.
somebody got you.
If you got a game the next day and you see somebody in the club, they're gonna be like, "Pick, look who's in the club, y'all. Put that money on. Put that money on Rono."
And look, you can't wear a costume because you're 7'1".
And you 7'2", 258.
Yeah.
There's no mistaken identity.
You play for somebody.
Yeah. Do you think this series has been, because we talk about Embiid and we'll talk about the other guy Jokic for Denver, to talk about who's the number one top pro center. The argument going back and forth, and they say the best ability is availability. Do you think Embiid is the key to the team? I mean, Embiid's going to be the key to the team.
Without a doubt.
With the force down low, they really don't have anybody to handle him. We're talking about Game 7. What do you think Embiid will be ready for Game 7 in Toronto? Has he matured? Is he ready, to lead this team? And like Barkley said, not come if you're not feeling well, you're not feeling well, but you don't have to come like they wheeling you in on your deathbed and sap the energy out your team. Do you think Embiid is ready for this challenge tomorrow up in Toronto?
Ready, 100% ready. I don't know about 100% because who is 100%?
Nobody's 100%.
Somebody got ankle problems and foot problems and shin and calf, and let's just put that out there because the regular season is 82 games. All right, you are now in your first series, and you're going to 7. right? So now you're at 89 games.
We pushed the second series because you played 5 before.
Yeah, excuse me. So we in 12 games. All right. So we at 94 games. So we creeping up on 100.
Yeah.
So something's wrong because you're not a machine. Like let's put that all the way out there. So your mental, your physical, your will, however we want to put it, you gotta. This is where it's at right here, right? Mm-hmm. You throwing up. You got a finger problem. You got an ankle problem. Whatever it is, right? You gotta find a way. Now, what is going to get found out is, how much you can give, because if you hurt, right? Mm-hmm. And sometimes being hurt hurts everybody. Yep. Right? So we gonna find that out. Now, if you so hurt and you're out there and they trying to get this production out of you that we know that you're capable of, and I'm speaking about Embiid, and we, because listen, if you are a competitive person and you've been watching sports for a long time, you can look probably the first 5 minutes in the game and know something's wrong with somebody. All right. Mm-hmm. So now it becomes with the coach. He would have made this shot 3 games ago. I know that he's hurt. Regardless of how competitive he is, I think he needs to be out of the game. Or you got a choice to die with him out there, Mm-hmm. So that's what we're going to find out about Embiid. Because you got to play. There's no way. He's gotta play. There's no way. I know. I can't remember a guy of his stature that is projectedly supposed to make like 200 or something million says, okay, game 7, I don't think I'm going to do it.
Hey, I think my man Duke, basketball stud, one of Jersey's finest. All of that to me said, as a Sixers fan, I hope, he's ready to play. I think he should be ready to play. Am I confident that he's going to show up and be ready to play and dominate the game? No. No, I am not confident. I have just me, right? I think you are who you are, right? So if you're in one game and you're stinking it up and you're moping around the court, injured, whatever. So like you said, we're at game 94. Everybody's injured. Mm-hmm. Everybody has something wrong. But when he was flying his airplane around the court and he was beating his drums and listening to the crowd and doing all of that, none of that mattered. The food poisoning or respiratory infection, the knee injury, none of that mattered when he had it going, right? But when he didn't have it going, now in this, a Michael Jordan food poisoning game or whatever, flu game, right? Yeah. He's, every time out, it's like he's laboring to get off the court. Every missed shot, he's laboring to get up and down the court.
Mike had a crazy game on that flu game, though.
I agree, but to me, that's a front runner.
Yeah,
to me, that's a front runner. Yeah. So when you got it going and you making baskets or whatever and you feeling good and so for instance, Mike in the flu game, he had it going. You know what Mike did after he made a big shot in the basket? He went right back into that slouch like, oh shit, I'm tired. Mm-hmm. And he ran back down the court. He didn't go wasting no energy flying his airplane. He didn't waste no energy beating his drum because he was sick.
Well, you understand what I'm saying? They say if find me a player that makes 5, 6, 7 in a row, find out if he's fatiguing. Now he's not because they going in. Mm-hmm. So it's definitely a mental thing.
Yeah, I think and so that doesn't give me any confidence that. Now don't get me wrong, he could go in tomorrow and dominate. I believe he can and he should. But would I be surprised if he doesn't and he gives us one of them,
But do they need him to do that? 30,
they do.
That 33, 12, 5? They do.
Yes. They do.
Yeah, he do. So he can't get away with that 17, 12?
No. I think it's going to be a little bit intense. I think as the series goes, you see the legs are going, especially when they're playing every other day.
Right. I do see that.
The jump shots are coming up short. So this is a game where who can dominate the rim and dominate inside the basket is going to have a big advantage.
Have him. They gotta have him.
I think the reason why he can't get away with that in this game is because you can't expect that Ben's going to do what he did in this game. So he's going to have to pick up that slack that Ben picked up.
Absolutely.
In Philly.
So that's where the 33.
Well, I think, and we're going to get to that, but I think one of the key things about the Sixers, and Doug hit a key spot, said they're front runners, and that's the whole team. The key for the Sixers and the inclusion of Ben is the defensive end. Because when you get stops and get rebounds, you can get your transition game going.
Right.
And if the other team is making baskets, running their offense, and scoring and hitting shots, you cannot get the transition game in when you're inbounding the ball after a made basket.
Correct.
And then that makes the game more of a half-court game. And see, what happens, and what I've been noticing, is when they get into a half-court game and everybody else is starting kind of slow, J.J. Redick hasn't hit a shot, Harris is off, Butler is trying to force things to score because nobody else wants it. That's when Simmons becomes tentative because it's not, y'all need me to score?
Yeah, because now I'm needed.
And that's not his game.
At all.
And that's when Joel Embiid is supposed to say, hey, give me the ball.
Yeah. He's supposed to get on the block like Kareem used to
Give me
do.
the ball and get out of the way. It don't matter who's sticking me. I don't need the mismatch. Just give me the ball. And that's when he's supposed to get that bucket and get the shit righted. And when he's moping around because he's tired or out of shape or whatever it is that he's got, then, nobody else's energy can come up. At times, people feed off of other people's energy. You know what I mean?
Without a doubt.
We saw that last night. I'm sure we're going to get into that a little later. But, these guys that aren't the star players, that are the role players, the Mike Scotts.
They're looking up to the leader.
Ennis and those guys, they're going to feed off of your energy. So even if you're not making shots, but you're being aggressive and you're going to the basket and you block, but you're playing defense and you're rebounding, those guys are going to feed off of that and follow that. If you're being tentative, they're going to be tentative.
Yeah, I think about Joel, I think he. I'm not a Sixers fan. We got 2 Sixers fans. Is there 3 Sixers fans in the building? We got 2 Sixers fans in the building. But
I'm a basketball fan.
Yeah, I'm not a Sixers fan, but I'm a giant basketball fan. You know what I mean? I'm more of a basketball fan than a Lakers fan. So I'd rather watch sports, any team. So with that being said, when I watch Joel and I hear him in interviews, he wants to be the greatest. He may not be the greatest. He has potential to be in the Hall of Fame, but he may not be the greatest big man ever played, but he wants to be that. And so with that being said, I almost know he's going to show up in this Game 7. Yeah. I almost know he's going to give.
I feel like he is that guy that we can count on. Because what you're not going to get is that 5-point game.
He's definitely going to give 26. He's going to give you 26 tonight.
Right.
Now, will it be enough? I'm not sure. Well, tomorrow he's gonna give you 26 tomorrow.
If he does that, it's not his fault,
right? But he's gonna bring it, Now
I think so too.
Whereas anything else, like the game is more like when we would play teams, it wasn't always about Kobe and Gasol or Kobe and Shaq. It was always about how's Robert Horry gonna stop, how's Robert Horry gonna stop Chris Webber? Is he gonna slow Webber down? Is he gonna do this? You know what I'm saying? So is he gonna do that? Whereas though it's more on Tobias, Like, and then when we had Gasol, it was how is Lamar Odom going to play? It's more about Lamar Odom was the piece more than Kobe and Gasol. So it's like, is Tobias going to come out and give you 20 points? That's where it's really going to play out.
That's the interesting point that you make, and that's the interesting point when you decide you're going to give somebody $40 million a year.
Right.
Now, if I'm supposed to be giving somebody $40 million a year, when the lesser players are down, I'm expecting a $40 million a year get on my back for this quarter and keep us in the game. That's what I'm expecting.
Right.
You got me. I got you.
We've only seen one of them for Philly this year.
Yeah.
And his name is Jimmy Butler.
And he's up there right now. Yeah. Jimmy Butler. And the key is the Jimmy Butler trade is interesting because a lot of people say, do they sign him? Do you max? Do you bring Jimmy back? If they had the same team they went into the playoffs with last year, this series is over.
Right.
Oh yeah. Right.
Without Jimmy Butler, this series is over.
Maybe do they even get to the
Even
playoffs?
though I love Covington,
do they get to the playoffs?
Now, I was a Covington fan. I thought Covington had great potential, man. I liked his wingspan. He could shoot the tray
a little bit. He could shoot the tray.
I like Covington a lot. I was a big fan, and me and my homie Nate. Shout out to Nate. Nate. He on here watching.
Hey, what's up, Nate?
Me and him used to go back and forth about that. He wasn't really on the Covington bandwagon. He was a Sixers fan,
but he couldn't do nothing. He couldn't put it on the floor or nothing like that.
But I was a fan of him,
I mean, Covington wouldn't have the ball in his hand with the last seconds for a shot.
So you figure
we're not going to do that.
Butler won 2 games when he first got here with the ball in his hand. They're not clearing out. They're not clearing out for Covington for the last second shot. Nah. And they don't have the ability to somebody to go get their shot and somebody to bring that energy and somebody to bring that toughness to the team as a leader, as a star player. They wouldn't have it. They wouldn't be here. So Jimmy Butler is the key, and the key for the game. And the key for the Sixers is they got to get defensive stops and get in transition early.
Defense
always
wins.
They got to do it early so Ben's comfortable and everybody's comfortable, and they can play their game.
I think they got to start early.
If they
man.
rolling
Sixers
in
got to come out
transition,
early,
then
man.
Ben can move in transition with the ball. Redick can get open threes, moving threes, and then that'll, like you said, that'll open the game up.
And it's harder to set your defense off of transition.
Right, but I think they're going to do. Them two are going to do their game, though. I think Butler and Embiid is going to have their game. I just think it's going to come down to Tobias and
Simmons
and what Simmons can do and how can they slow down.
And the thing about Simmons had, and then after Game 6, and the big debates. I was in a debate with it about Game 6, and I didn't think Game 6 came down to skill. I think Game 6 came down to will.
And want, right?
And the argument that I was having, and not about not being able to hit a shot or free throws or anything like that, but the mentality of a $40 million a year star to what I can do is go to the hole. And I'm going to go in the hole.
Right.
And I'm going to go to the hole, be damned if we don't have it, Tobias don't have it tonight, and B sloping. It's time for me to go to the hole. If I make my free throws, I make my free throws, but I got to attack the rim. I'm a rim attacker. I can't do anything else. I got to get in the lane. I got to take my shots.
Right.
I just can't fall back and fade and play the pass game.
No, because
then the confidence gets shook. Then you see the turnovers. That's what I was having, and people were saying, "Well, you Ben, or you're not hating on Ben." I'm not hating on Ben or hating on anybody. I'm just telling you the clear facts that I see.
Right, you're a basketball fan. That be the problem with us fans. We get too zeroed in on our team, and we just think our team is the best team that ever was created today. That be the problem.
I think Duke said that before a couple of weeks ago that it's fanatic.
We get too zeroed in.
So we understand.
If he can't shoot, he can't
Right.
shoot. If he need to learn how to shoot, he need to learn how to shoot.
The thing I think the one thing that frustrating about Ben is you see, like, if you go back to like high school, you see him knocking down jumpers, threes, pull up jumpers,
Confidence.
all of that, right? So confidence. Somewhere along the line, his confidence when it comes to shooting outside of 3 feet.
Don't show me any
went
workout tapes where you shooting jumpers from 3-point range.
Well, no, I'm actually talking about in games. He was actually shooting threes, coming off, doing all of that, like normal basketball
So why
player.
aren't you doing that now?
But that's the part I don't understand.
As a
that's,
point
like you say,
guard,
confidence.
and a point guard in this league, he hasn't made a 3-point in his first 2 full seasons. He hasn't made a 3-pointer,
Right.
which is almost unbelievable. But I understand that's not your game. But in what you can do it with ferocity.
You still got
And
to
he doesn't do it all the time.
You still got to shoot it though.
Yeah, he doesn't do it all the time.
Like if it's not.
Listen,
your game,
if you can't shoot a outside shot, you are helping the other team.
oh yeah,
That's what you're doing.
Tremendously,
You basically helping other teams.
because now they can double Embiid.
Double,
once he
we
go in the
sagging
post.
in on defense. We
Once he
doing a
go
whole
in
bunch
on
of
the post,
stuff.
Yeah, they put Siakam,
Yeah.
or they put
Right.
they put Siakam on him, or one time they had Gasol on him, and or they just rest Leonard on him.
Right.
You go ahead and you just
Because you're no threat offensively when it's not a
half-court.
transition. Exactly.
Especially somebody as smart as Kawhi. Like,
So why
I
are you
know
even in the
gotta come
game?
to me.
So
Like,
why are you in the
And
game?
they can
You know?
literally just sit in the paint, which we have seen teams do. And in contrast to that, we've seen them try to do that with the Greek Freak, but it doesn't work because he'll either shoot, he'll make his fair share, and then he's attacking the rim so hard that you standing in the paint doesn't leave you any
help you,
chance.
man.
No,
And that's the one thing about Ben is, if they're going to play you that far off, or with guys that are that much slower than you or smaller than you, you need to be attacking the basket.
You gotta get them wheels moving, like Greek Freak though.
We're gonna post. We'll talk about Hood. What's he doing for? What's he doing for Portland against a smaller? But it was an interesting shot at the game last Thursday. Julius Winfield Irving, Dr. J,
Doctor.
sat down and made a house call.
So look, I wasn't the greatest 3-point shooter either,
Right.
but I got them buckets.
So what do y'all think Doc said? I didn't hear what they talked about. I don't know if it was reported, but what do you think Julius Irving said to the young fella? Before Game 6, elimination game.
I hope he said just, you don't want to have any regrets when you get to these certain times. When you get to these playoff times, they're not guaranteed. It's not guaranteed that next year you'll be in this position. You don't know what it's going to. I hope he said, just go out there, play your game, and what happens, happens. Like, a regret will be if you go out there and you're tentative and you don't play your game and your team loses, and now you're looking back saying, man, I should have attacked the rim right there. Man, I had a mismatch. I should have went a little harder there. That's a regret. Now, if you go hard and you just miss shots,
Yeah.
or they make plays or things like that, then you can live with that. Hey, we weren't good enough that day.
Right,
But if
right,
you don't
right.
do the things that you can do, that you know you can do, and that everybody else know you can do, your teammates are expecting you to do, then I'm hoping that's what he said. You know what I mean? I'm pretty sure at this point of the game, he's not giving him pointers of, hey, when you get to the elbow, I'm pretty sure he's saying something like that. He's probably recapping times where he might have regretted, taking a back seat or not being as aggressive as he could have been at different times, and just talking about like missed opportunities. And I'm hoping, because Ben, the way he came out and played was like, you know what, if we gonna lose, we gonna lose. It's not gonna be because I'm being passive or I'm not attacking the glass or
only gonna have 5 shots.
That was the conversation.
Yeah,
well, it's like Doug made a lot of points. Doc is not talking about we need to get these jumpers from you. We're not getting that, right? We're not getting it. But what I do need from you, assert yourself, the things that you do well, because he does some things well. He'll get the ball, he'll push, he'll stuff like that. So take advantage of your strengths, and just give. Sometimes, listen, you can give everything you got, and that's enough, and you will appreciate it as the player, and your fans will appreciate it also as watching. Look, this guy did not have a good game, but we cannot deny how hard he was playing and the hustle and everything, and then people can live with that. All right, so then when it's all over, you go to the gym and work on what you need to work on. But that's probably the conversation.
Yeah, definitely, and we'll see definitely. Game 7 in Toronto. Does Brett Brown have to win this game to keep his job in Philadelphia?
I say no, but who am I? I believe that the Sixers are just. It's not I don't see a lot of coaching things that's going on wrong with them. It's more, I think is now, could he have probably made some type of adjustments? Without a doubt, all coaches can. But I think that is more for the Sixers is need, JJ Redick, he can play, right? He's a shooter. He's gonna knock some threes down. Tobias Harris, he can do multiple things.
Be hot, go to the rim.
Right. So, but my thing is, and Simmons, we can throw him in there. Those 3, right?
Yeah.
Can we count on those guys every game to give you what they can give you? Can we do that? And the answer is no. We can't.
Yeah.
So it's a question mark, right?
Yeah.
So that has nothing to do with the coach.
Yeah.
Right? If you got a guy with it, let's take case in point, Jimmy Butler. You bring him in. We knew what he could do, right? Guess what? He's doing it. Do we got to worry about him?
No.
There's no worry.
No.
So we done. So there's not another player over there that can say, you know what? I can guarantee you this production. They don't have it in talking about Simmons and talking about Redick and talking about Harris.
Or Embiid at the last this series.
Yeah. So it's not there. So that's not a coach's problem, Now, if a guy comes in that can give you 20, 22, and he's been doing that, and he comes into your system, however you have to run it, and he's not giving you that, now I'm looking at the coach.
So I think like it's kind of to me it's kind of a tricky question because it's still a business, and then at the end of this season, we know Butler's a free agent, Harris is a free agent, so you may have to make a move with the coach to attract players or something like that outside of what happens here, right?
Yeah.
But one thing we know, like we talk about great players and the greatest players and this, that, and the third, and they compare Embiid to guys like Shaq and David Robinson and Patrick Ewing and but the one thing about it is I've never, and you can say injuries, you can say sick and all of that, but I think Shaq pointed something out the other day. He said Embiid averaged 28 a game in the regular season. He's averaging 18 in this series. That's a 10-point drop-off.
Yeah.
That's a 10-point drop-off.
So,
typically, you see the best player on the team
go up
because their minutes go up, their touches
They're
go up,
more.
their
The
points
bench
per
short.
game
At
goes
least
up.
4 points.
The bench
Right,
is short.
their
And
points
at least
go
4
up.
points.
And then what happens to you as that star player, when you lose that game by 4 points, you might look at yourself. You know?
Yeah.
Oh, wait, I was 28, now I'm 18, and we lost by 5? That's me.
And I
Dude,
took
a
the same
10-point
amount of shots.
A 10-point drop-off. Even if you take just by taking less shots. If you normally take this amount of shots and you take less shots, I mean that's a problem. You know what I mean? Like but a 10-point drop off in your average should be going up, and you drop off.
Playoff time
points.
is supposed to go up. Yeah.
That's on you as a star player. When they look at your team, when we go and we look at this series, this playoff run 5 years from now, and we start looking at the stats. Hey, Jimmy Butler did this, and this guy did that, and we'll say, well, damn, Embiid averaged 18 a game or 28 a game, and he averaged 30 in the first series against Brooklyn. He averaged 18. Damn.
Right,
well, who
right.
did Toronto have that shut him down?
Right.
That's the reason why they lost. Certain games by 6 points and 4 points, and my star player is averaging 10 points. He should be averaging 2 to 3 points more. He's averaging 10 points less.
Yeah,
that's not the coach.
We got some.
And I don't think you should get rid of. I don't think the coach should be going. But because
it is a business and it's marketing.
It's a business marketing. But if Kawhi is how he's advertised, like I'm starting to see a little bit. I'm starting to give him a little more. I'm starting to understand that it was more of the system it seemed like was holding him back more than anything. The system.
He played with him. He did what he was asked to do.
You can say holding back as far as offensive numbers, but you can't say holding back as far as championship rings.
No, that's what I'm saying. Like when I didn't give him his due, I put him down. He's probably like number 7 in my 6-7 in my far as basketball players right now that's in the game. He probably like number 6-7.
Currently playing right now.
Yeah, probably,
currently,
probably
with
number 6-7.
with them 39s and 33s and 35s.
Yeah, I won't put him at 5. In the top 5.
Ooh. Right now,
who's better than him?
That's what I want to know right now.
You got the Greek Freak. You got Kevin Durant.
Okay.
You got Steph Curry. You got LeBron James.
They playing hotter ball than the Claw.
Come on.
No,
who know who?
You see the Claw's numbers?
No, sir.
Who know who?
You see the Claw's
You got
numbers?
James Harden. That's 5 players.
Harden just went home.
No, we're not going to do because you went home.
No,
LeBron ain't even playing the playoffs and he's in the top 5.
What Harden do in that game last night?
Do you realize this guy shooting 62%? He's averaging like 39 this series.
He's right outside of the top 5.
62%. He's not Shaq shooting layups.
Right now, he's a hot man.
He's
That's
right
all I'm saying.
outside
I'm
of
gonna
the
leave
top.
that alone.
Right now, his stock is up.
Oh, way up.
I had him behind Paul George and a lot of people.
He's done a little more than freak.
Man,
Now I got him.
I'm about to,
Up is now 7-8.
I had him at
I'm about to tell you, stick to boxing, man.
Look, I had him low. I had him like 12. Now I got him.
Up is now 7-8 for him right now. You see
I
them
got him
numbers?
6 players up than I had him. I got him ahead of Westbrook. I got him ahead of Paul George. I got him right there. Dame
Why
Dollar.
is Paul George in the conversation with
Paul George was MVP candidate this year.
Why was he in the conversation with the Claw?
But Paul George was MVP candidate this year.
Man, that regular season.
2.
Oh.
Whoa!
Yeah.
Right now?
You see what's happening?
If you talking about playoff basketball,
I'm talking about
That's
right
what we
now.
talking about.
We talking about
NBA
right at
ball.
this
I'm talking
moment.
about
We talking about
Right now.
playoff basketball.
Today, right now,
Playoff
it's Giannis,
basketball.
KD, Kawhi, and you can put them whatever order you
No,
want.
you got to still put Harden in there, man. Harden,
you gonna make me and you watch the game.
Harden
tomorrow.
shooting like 30%.
Come on, man.
He's shooting like 30%.
Come on.
John,
some?
here's my question. Who can Harden stop in a big game that has an offensive, like James Harden? Shut him down so we can win this game.
Okay.
Kawhi can do that and score 30.
He can't do that to James Harden if he's down to.
What?
It can't be put the clamps on James Harden. He can't do that.
I think me and you gonna have to watch the
To the
game.
beard.
Yeah.
He can't stop the beard.
Why not?
We gotta watch the game.
Why
The
not?
Bears shooting 30% against
Because they not calling the foul.
No,
He getting fouled out there. They ain't calling
against
him.
Clay because it's the playoffs. They don't call
He
him.
ain't calling it. If you under me,
against
you in
Klay
my zone.
Thompson.
That's regular
Klay
season
Thompson,
ball.
30%.
Klay Thompson's probably the number 3 best two-way player
He's
behind
fine.
Jimmy
Who's the
Butler.
number 1?
Who Kawhi number 1?
Exactly.
Jimmy Butler's number 2.
And he's shooting 30% against
Yeah.
Klay Thompson.
He's
So what
probably
he
the
gonna
best.
do? What is he gonna do against Kawhi Leonard? The best.
He gonna make them shots.
Well, he didn't make him last night.
Can't shut the beard down. You can't shut the beard down.
He didn't make him last night. I mean,
I moved him. I'm still in trouble. I moved him all the way up to 6 from 12.
Like,
6.
I moved him all the way up to 6, 7. Like,
we won't talk about the Raptors right now. We talking about Kawhi.
6.
We had Kawhi
that's
last
for all the ball players.
Kawhi has certainly showed that right now he's a playoff most valuable player in the playoffs.
62%, dog. 62.
Shooting 62%
Not,
of the field.
not
dropping
as a
30
center,
points.
Come on, man.
as a guard.
As a guard, shooting 62% defense, rebounding, And as Doris Burke said, those big hands.
Oh, you got just look at that look at that basketball.
That's why
right
he missed
now.
those 4 free throws down the stretch. Those big hands.
62%.
Don't forget those 4 free throws he missed.
60
Don't forget those 4 free throws he missed in the fourth quarter.
39 points on 62%.
Don't forget those
That's
4
like
free
Shaq
throws.
numbers, man, on drop step dunks.
Don't forget those 4 free throws.
And
he
he's
missed.
shooting threes.
And he's shooting threes too. Like it's correct. For Toronto, I think the key, he's going to do what he's going to do.
Sugar now.
Do something before I get rid of them. They just in my way.
Pascal Siakam, I think he's key for them. Can he hit some corner threes? Can he rebound? Can he get some putbacks for them going with Toronto? I think the pressure's on Toronto. I believe the pressure's on Toronto.
That's why I said
agree.
the coach for the Sixers shouldn't get let go because pressure's on Toronto. If you got like Duke and Doug and Sunni, you got arguably the second best player in the league.
Yeah.
You going against? Why should I get fired and I'm going against the second best player in the league?
I think
Well, that's because you have the most talented roster of the two teams.
You do. You got the most talented almost in the league, other than Golden State.
Yeah.
And a great player will keep you in against all those great players.
Right.
Absolutely.
They'll make it a
you
game.
figure being at home, guys like Siakam and Van Vliet, what's his name? Van Vliet.
Yeah, 1 or 12. Hopefully,
those guys, they'll shoot better, they'll play better.
Yeah.
Well, the Sixers have been trying to. The Sixers guarded him straight up for a lot, and then they've been hedging and double teaming a little bit early in the game. They were saving that for the fourth quarter, and in that game 5, they kind of let those guys get open and hit some shots. It didn't carry through on the road, which you usually don't. Your role players play better at home with the crowd, the energy, and everything. But didn't carry over coming into Philadelphia. It'll be interesting to see going into this game 7 how Brett attacks Kawhi. We said we're going to let Kawhi do work and shut everybody else down, or we're going to start hedging and doubling him early and try to put some pressure on other guys to make a shot.
I think they should. Well, I think they should probably put pressure on the other cats because if they do that, take the ball out of Kawhi's hand early, put pressure on the other guys, and they start missing early shots, then they'll get a little tentative. They'll get a little tight because it is Game 7, and they are used to the criticism up there in Toronto of losing, not living up to expectations. So if I'm Brett Brown and the Sixers, I'm trying to shut Kawhi Leonard down, and I'm trying to make these other guys, carry them to the promised land. And
Which is a tough job for a supporting cast,
Yeah. I don't. I'm still upset that I got haggled, about putting him at 6. But
six best player in the league.
In the lead, I mean, there's a lot of players. 6 is great.
You got him at 6 all time.
You looking
What
at
you
production?
mean? 6 and now?
Hey, look, but
The team of the 2010s.
But I think you shouldn't really. Do like Doug said and shut him down, allow the other team, because even if you give that, you try to do that, Kawhi is still gonna get off. Even if you make your plays around, okay, we're gonna let this guy go and this guy go, Kawhi's still gonna pop up with 28 because that's the Kawhi game. Like a Kobe, you can do that to a Kobe, because a Kobe is not gonna slash, grab a rebound, put back. Like Kawhi is gonna outthink everybody on the court. So even though you're making your game about Kawhi won't have the ball in his hands then. And so when the play is going on, he's gonna slash now. Now you can't double me on a slash. And once I get to the basket, I'm making it. So then he kick it to the 3-point shooter and he's crashing the boards. Like Kawhi is gonna outthink everybody. So I think if you lack off everybody else, Kawhi is still gonna have 25. So I would just
25 gonna be enough.
I think it will be if you're letting everybody get open shots.
It seems to be that this, and it'd be interesting to see how they hit early because Game 7, the intensity. Your legs, you've been playing every other day, traveling to Canada from Philly. That's why I think this is a big Embiid game. It's a big
Embiid is showing up.
Yeah,
Embiid is giving you 25 plus.
I think he is too.
How's the pressure
he
on
has
Lowry?
a mismatch every night.
Yeah,
Lowry is. I think can he hit some threes? I mean, he hit one early in Philly on Game 6 and then kind of fell off. They kind of worry about Game 7. Can he do it? A lot of pressure on him. I mean, I'm to the point where I play everybody head up, and I feel I got the better roster. I was so I'm going to play everybody head up, make it tough on you, and then if it's tight, then we take Lowry out the game and say, take Kawhi out the game and say, okay, you got the hit. It's the fourth quarter. You're down 3. It's tied. Game 7. Pressure. Third, tertiary, secondary guy. You ready to make that shot?
Right. Now, maybe that. Maybe you throw a lot of different angles at him. Maybe that, but. Kyle Lowry has never been a 3-point shooter, even in Villanova.
I think there's a lot of
when he
pressure
played
on
with
Kawhi.
Allen Ray and he played with Randy Floyd.
I mean, I'm
when
sorry.
they played in Villanova.
Kyle Lowry.
Oh,
Yeah,
without a doubt.
$33 million a year.
Yeah.
I think it's a
He
lot
getting
of
paid
pressure.
too
on
much
Kyle
money.
A whole
Lowry.
bunch of pressure.
He's getting paid too much money, and that's going to help
$33
Jimmy Butler next week when he when he get his deal. But Kyle Lowry's never been a 3-point shooter in Villanova. When he played with Allen Ray and he played with Randy Floyd, he was almost like the fourth guy. I mean, he was the only true freshman, I think, but he was like the fourth guy because white boy that was playing with him too. It was 4 point guards they ran.
Okay.
I don't know his name. That's what you want me to say. Don't make it obvious. I can't remember his name. He played in the league.
Yeah, he played in the league.
Yeah, he played in the league too.
All right, we'll research that. We'll get the research staff to
Yeah,
say
get
that.
the research.
We'll research who that was.
Yeah, it was for him. They was running 4 point guards.
Okay.
They lost to Noah and them in the championship.
Okay.
In the
You
semi-championship.
talking about the Final Four?
Yeah, they lost to Noah in the Final
They had
Four.
no big man.
Noah and them.
Florida.
Oh, Florida.
Yeah, they played
Florida.
Yeah. That's
They had
why.
Kyle Lowry on Noah,
Kyle Lowry, Allen Ray,
Randy Floyd,
Randy Floyd.
and it was the other point guard. I can't remember his name. It was one more.
The other Game 7 out west.
Uh-oh.
We could have had 3 Game 7s. We'll get to that later.
This one right here, man. This has been a great series
Oh,
to
yeah.
watch, man. 2 deep teams.
Portland, Denver. It's been tremendous. A 4 overtime game. Denver was ahead in Game 6. Portland stormed back to force a Game 7 in Denver. Damian Lillard
Dame Dollar.
has and Damian Lillard, I think, has pushed my thing I've been stressing, that your max guys in this era of basketball have to be offensively dominant.
Have to be max guys.
You know what I mean? I don't know you max out a defensive shot blocker in this era and just get you rebounds. I think you have to be able to put work in offensively because you're chasing Golden State. You know what I mean? And that's the golden standard. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
No pun intended. And as we saw, they can shoot and play and defend. Definitely. He's really proven himself. And what time's the game tomorrow? Anybody know? I don't know.
3:30.
3:30. Yes.
That's
can
the early
tune
one.
in.
The Sixers are the late.
Thank you to NBA for putting that game on at 3:30. So we can get to see them and be able to definitely.
Yeah,
check them out.
because those games been late.
Yeah, they've been
Pretty
late,
much, man. And we've been missing some good games, man.
Oh, yeah, especially
We'll
this
definitely
joint.
be able to check them out. And then another player that's been really playing for them and really doing work is C.J. McCollum.
Lehigh.
Oh yeah.
Lehigh University.
And he's been tremendous. He's like he comes in when Dame's up and just keeps it going.
Oh, yeah.
And definitely been.
They might be the smoothest backcourt
Yeah.
in a long time.
Yeah.
You talk about two smooth guys. That when you look up at the scoring,
Sometimes
the
you
box,
can't
you're
tell.
like, wait
You
a
can't
second.
tell who if you change put the same jersey on.
And you'll say, wait a second. I think this guy did all right tonight. And you look up and you see 35. You're like, oh no,
Yeah.
somebody got more than just all right.
Yeah. They both run that pick and roll at the top of the key off the 3-point
They're
shot.
efficient.
I think
man.
one thing people forget, man, is these guys were 2 and 3 in the West.
Yeah.
And the Blazers, I thought the Blazers would be in trouble when they lost their big guy. Was it Nurkic?
Yeah.
But with Enes Kanter, that was a big pickup for them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And just watching these guys play, both of these teams, man, they're all both pretty deep. You know what I mean? They
Right.
got some big name players, and I'm gonna tell you something, man. It may not be popular here where we are. We're sitting in Newcastle, Delaware, heart of Sixers country. The G League field house is like 2 miles from here.
Like round the corner, yeah.
And but I'm gonna tell you something right now, and y'all might look at me like I'm crazy, but I think the Joker is better than Embiid.
Ooh, we gonna be.
It's tough. It's close.
Yo, that was my.
It's tough.
That's
Hey, man,
my
it's
next
tough.
slide is Denver and the Joker. The Joker, Doug, is averaging. He's played. This will be his 14th game because it went 7 against San Antonio. He's averaging 24 points, 13 boards, and 8.9 assists. He's he's almost averaging a triple-double.
And he's 24 years old.
And unlike Embiid, before Game 7 starts, we could pencil them numbers in right now. He's going to give us that.
Yeah. And
He's going to give us that.
And he played 65 minutes in that overtime game.
4 overtime.
Embiid
Well, 24, age 24 gets you
Embiid
that.
Embiid might be out for a week after that 4 overtime game with 65 minutes.
Joker he's legit. And
I'm not going to argue.
And that's what I brought up before. I said we were talking about who's going to be that all-pro center, the number 1 spot, and it's going back and forth. One thing I did agree with Doris. She said, Joker, I don't want to be a homer, but availability is the best ability. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like,
You will say that.
I got a
That's
random-
your line. That's your line right there.
I got a random text from a friend of mine, my man Breon McNair. Shout out to him, right?
Shut out.
All it said was Embiid or Jokic. Jokic.
This is the thing with me.
That's coming from a Sixer guy.
This is the thing with me, though. I mean,
And he playing out west.
I will give Jokic the nod, but
Is he playing out west?
no, I give him the nod. But I'd rather watch KG and Rasheed Wallace than Duncan. So
what's that mean?
I'd rather watch Embiid.
I'd rather win.
I'd rather watch Embiid. Well, neither one of my team. I'm saying as a fan.
What's that mean?
I'd rather tune in. Joker's game is really it's slow. Like I don't.
So let me ask you this.
It wins.
This is gonna end our question, right? This is gonna end everything. What year were you born in?
Hey man, I was born in the years of the 3-point shot.
Okay,
He got it.
There we go.
I was born when the cars were dropping
We need to get them W's.
I wasn't born in years of the deuce and the quarter.
We need
You
to
know,
get them
like
W's.
these cars were.
It could be look. Jamal Wilkes had one of the ugliest jumpers ever.
Yeah.
But guess what? I ain't messing with a shot. I'm not messing with a shot.
This guy,
'Cause it goes in.
they run their whole offense sometimes through this guy.
Yeah.
He's actually like a point center.
Yeah.
He's dropping passes here, there. He's
Through the legs. I
he
know
can
y'all
shoot
saw
the
it.
jumper. He can go to the basket. He can rebound. This guy is a ball player,
Oh, yeah.
man.
He's a
And
basketball player.
Oh yeah, it's definitely them three, though.
and there's no excuses though. It's never any excuses with
the
him.
best big man. Them three.
He plays every night.
Yeah.
He brings it every night.
He brings it every night.
They
And
actually challenged him to lose, to get more in shape this year, to play more minutes this year. They actually challenged him, and he came back and he played more minutes, and he got.
That's
better
coming
in
for
shape.
him, though.
You know, he actually.
dedicated.
And
You'll
it's
get
no
it.
drama.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
None.
No drama.
It's no drama.
None at
I would in a heartbeat swap players.
Whoa.
Listen.
Yeah, watch out, man.
That's just me.
They know your name in
Now,
the
don't get me
show.
wrong.
I want to swap players.
Don't get
talking
me
about
wrong.
Philly?
I love Embiid. But I love consistency.
Yeah,
I love consistency.
I want
Like,
to swap players with Philly, but I think that
B has
I
been
think
hurt.
Joker can play with anybody. Like he can play with
Right,
somebody
right.
better than him.
Because
he passes.
and he's
He passes.
okay.
He
He's
passes.
okay. Whereas the Embiid is going to demand the ball more
Embiid
than he
is the
demands
more
it now.
dominant. He's the more dominant.
He has
player.
to be the alpha male. Like Joker knows where he's at and he's comfortable with scoring the 20 points a night or got to score 30 this night. Whereas the Embiid, if he plays with another star on his level, you know, he's going to demand more. There might be some locker room issues. There ain't going to be no locker room issues with Joker.
Well, this,
you know,
I mean, this guy, man.
He
this
wanna win.
guy, He makes winning plays, man. And,
Yeah.
and, you know, a lot of he plays in Denver, so a lot of people might not get to see him or they may not watch him.
And it's Denver, and they don't get the primetime game.
Yeah, right, all
don't-
of that.
yeah.
But for a long stretch of the season, they were number one in the West. For
Yeah.
a long stretch of the season, and he was a big part of that. And you know, just seeing this series and just the numbers he's putting up is ridiculous, man. It is ridiculous, and he's doing it night in and night out.
Hey, guess what?
No excuses.
This is a game 7 we got right here.
Yeah,
We're gonna
yeah.
say we get them same numbers.
And another kid is this kid Murray.
Oh, Murray.
22
That's what I was going to get. We'll get to Murray,
Yeah, Murray, 22 years old. He's putting up numbers too. Like the ball is shooting 6'4" guard.
And this is one of my things, Sunni. Like, just because you're funny and witty on Twitter, you give a great post game press conference, or you go to the club and you dance and you take pictures with fans. That don't make you a better ball player.
No, at all.
You know what I'm saying?
At all.
So
At all.
Embiid, and don't get me wrong, I don't want to misconstrue anything. I'm a Sixers fan. I love Embiid. I'm happy we got him, but. Like some of his antics, you know what I mean? It's like, yo, dude, you do realize we haven't won anything in years. So you're having fun. We want to win.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And you're not bringing it every single night for you to be now posing for pictures and dancing in the club and you eating 4 Chick-fil-A sandwiches and chewed milkshakes and and then we got to look at you and you're out of shape and you sick and all this other stuff going on. Your knees hurting. Come on, man. We're not for that, man.
That's the difference of the non-Sixers fan, which is me, and the Sixers fan. when I see these tweets and I see him, in the club and I see him having fun, I love it. But when you seem like that, you're like, yo, the gym is down the street. Like, what are you doing?
I mean, no, don't get me wrong. It's not. I understand he's young. He can live his life, and but he needs to understand
if you don't when you don't answer the bell,
you gotta accept this criticism.
Right. Yeah,
that's all I'm saying. And to his point, he's never. I can't remember him ever responding to the criticism negatively, like I don't want to hear that or so what. I've never heard him do that. So that to his point. Yeah. But we know, you only gonna get to be young for so long,
exactly.
Inexperienced for so long.
Right.
We love you for so long, and if you continue to lose,
where's the results?
So
and that's the but the thing with
Go ahead, John.
Yeah, no, I was saying the thing when you look at the NBA right now though, everything is wide open. Mm-hmm. Like you look at and Denver, you look at Portland, like they're going to the conference finals. Like you look at these teams and it's like, so when this free agent hit,
this is gonna be big. This is gonna be big.
This summer is gonna be the biggest ever.
It's gonna be the biggest ever.
Like they have a somewhat number 2 in him, but he's too young right now. Mm-hmm. Whereas though Greek, he doesn't have a number 2. These teams don't have number 2s, and Greek may come out. There's a high chance that he's going to come to the championship.
Well, but you got to understand too that sometimes that 1, 2, 3, sometimes that's a hindrance. You know what I mean?
And sometimes it's all about popularity too. We got a squad. We just ball.
Yeah, exactly. So that's what I see when I look at Denver. When I look at Milwaukee,
right?
And to some degree, that people may not want to believe it, but to some degree, that's what I see when I look at Golden State.
Yeah,
like you may say Durant's the best player and he does this and that, and Steph got a lot of flack when he wasn't doing certain things, but you see when Durant went down,
Steph stepped up.
Not only Steph, but the bench guys. You figured Looney and Sean Livingston
was a sense of urgency.
It's you can't say that. Well, they haven't done that all year,
right?
Because they haven't had to do it all year.
Yeah. Listen,
but now without Kevin Durant, okay, so no one person is going to pick up Kevin Durant when he leaves on the court, right? So everybody has to pick it up, and they all
that's
picked
understood
it up.
there,
and
they
all
picked it up.
And I definitely want to get into that because we're going to jump into. We'll talk about Paul Millsap. Shout him out a little bit. He's been playing power forward.
Yeah, he has.
And he's been doing work and putting it in, and it's going to be interesting. 3:30 tomorrow. I'll be tuned in. I'm cooking Mother's Day dinner for my mom, so I'm gonna hit the market very early.
There we go.
Everything be prepped and ready to go. But we could have had 3 Game 7s tomorrow.
Yeah. Oh yeah,
we could have.
We could have.
What happened?
We could have 3 Game 7s.
You mean to tell me Golden State won a game without their best player?
Without Cousins?
Wait a minute. Houston couldn't win last year without Chris Paul. You telling me Golden State won without? Oh man, I didn't know that kind of stuff could happen in the
Golden
NBA.
State were missing these 2 guys, Cousins and KD, who's having a tremendous postseason. The best player has carried them. And the interesting part, the Curry got real spicy.
Yes, he did
in the second half.
Yes,
it got cayenne pepper. It got real hot. Going through with the Golden State Warriors, and the interesting part was you're watching the game, and it's tied at halftime. Steph Curry's in foul trouble and has 0 points. You're like, Houston's done.
Yes, yes.
I'm like, and in my mind, I'm like, they're cooked. They're not gonna pull this out. Whatever. I think Jay-Z and Beyonce was in the crowd. Also, the Mother of Dragons was in the house.
Yeah.
So they were representing
Houston.
Everybody was in there, and for me, I just thought that it's very difficult to win. And I think not only about Steph, about Steve Kerr, it's also about culture. It's about culture of winning and what you do. And just because you shoot threes and all that stuff, but you still got to defend. You still got to do your job. These guys stepped up as usual. Iggy had 17 points. Draymond, they got Clay busy the last game 5. They got Clay locked in with a couple layups. He started hitting shots, and Looney gave him some quality minutes. You know, everybody came and contributed to make up for what was missing and played team ball and balled out. And the Chance became the underdogs, and they had something to say. They had a message to say. Houston was crying about officiating. Houston was like, "Oh, we could have beat y'all last year."
That's how you know it's all downhill when you start complaining about stuff like that.
And Houston was running that, "Oh, we would have beat y'all last year, Paul." Okay, well, we don't have Cousins and we don't have KD. So we're in your house.
Now what, right?
So now what?
And they could have easily tucked it in.
Yeah.
If they had lost Game 5 and lost Game 6, nobody would have blamed the Warriors for losing. They would have said, "Hey, Cousins out, KD out. Houston, we understand. On the road."
Yeah. Houston took y'all to 7 last year,
but they didn't.
Yeah.
I don't understand why. Everybody always, for some reason, Steph never going to get his respect for some odd reason in the NBA.
He will once he's done.
I don't understand. Once he's done. That's sad. You're supposed to get it while I'm here. Don't wait till my funeral to tell me I was a good man. Tell me right now. But
sometimes you appreciate it when you're gone.
Yeah, but Steph was always doing work. But it's like, why do this much work? Why do I need to go make the wine and I know he gonna snap his finger and make it? Why do I need to go out in the water and swim?
Well, he struggles. I mean, when you play that many games and you play these many things, and he's a smaller guy.
But if I got KD with me, why do I need to go swim in the water and he can walk on water?
Right.
KD is God out here. You know what I'm saying? Like so why would I have to do that? And that's why the other team players, struggle because they just sit around. They sit around and watch the KD show. Whereas the Golden State plays much better. Short term, I think. Without KD, is they a better team? Long term, they need KD. To win a game, I think they would play much better.
I think they needed KD to beat LeBron. I don't think anybody without the LeBron team
right.
I mean, they could go.
That's because
would I be shocked if they win the finals with this team right here? No,
because
not at all.
The difference is with LeBron.
Because they already won with this team.
Yeah.
The difference is with LeBron. He makes you play his game. LeBron slows the ball down, and so LeBron doesn't let Golden State get in transition. He slows the ball down and going to wait till the last 10 seconds to make a move and make a play.
Which is cool.
And he doesn't let you
Great strategy.
That's why he almost beat him without nobody here when he didn't have Kyrie or nobody.
You better slow it down.
Kyrie went down. That's why he still took him to 5 or 6 games. And it was close losses. The ones he lost, losses was like 3 points.
I think a lot of people were upset when Steve Kerr took over this team, and they were, it was like, hey, he took over Mark Jackson's
I was
team
upset. That was me.
Like But one thing I gotta say, man, is they built the culture there, right? A winning culture. So Sunni, I'm sure you'll remember this, right? The 49ers back in the day, they had won the Super Bowl. Remember, they beat Dallas, and then Dallas got Dion, and they had the 49ers was coming into Dallas in like week 10, and Steve Young was out. And everybody, as a Cowboys fan, you just thought, "Oh man, we gonna beat the mess out of them." Steve Young's out, and they came in and beat the brakes off the Cowboys. Jerry Rice took like the second play of the game for like 60 yards, touchdown. And it's culture, right? It's culture. It's making guys believe, that
accountability.
Accountability, right? Do your job, we'll be okay. You do what you're supposed to do, we'll be okay. You step up when it's your time. You may not get called on for a week, 2 weeks, but when it's your time to get called on, if you just do what you can do, we'll be okay. And the Patriots, they're another example of that, right? You bide your time, you pay attention,
you run these
you
routes.
Be professional. When you get called on, you do your job.
Stay ready, then you don't have to get ready.
And we'll be okay. And that's what you saw a lot of those guys, Livingston, Iguodala, even though he's been playing a lot of minutes.
Like they said, that starts with people don't say. That starts in practice. Correct. That starts how focused you are, how much time you put in, attention to detail. Those things. You're working on your skills. You're working on your things. To be a better basketball player and to be a better team. That's where all that comes in.
And one thing people don't understand is with that is, if you're Steph Curry, you're Klay Thompson, you're Andre Iguodala, guys have been playing a lot of minutes, Draymond Green, because you know the work that these other guys have been putting in, even though they haven't been playing and we, the public, haven't seen it, you know what they can do. So you feel confident throwing them the ball in a certain situation. You know if I throw this lob up, he's going to go get it. I don't have to go help him because he's a defensive. He can play defense. You know what I'm saying? I've seen him in practice stay in front of, you know, Steph Curry.
Right,
You know what I
right.
mean? So I don't have to run and leave my man open and try to do more than my job to help him out, because I've seen in practice that he'll be able to stay in front of James Harden. He may not be able to stop him, but he'll stay in front of him.
Right.
And that's like cool. That's when people say, the heart of a champion, and this is why, these guys are champions, and that's kind of what you understand when you see that, is that everybody from the beginning of this run, when it was David West and Barbosa and those guys coming in the game, everybody has played their part and been up to par and been up to the challenge when it came time.
When that number is called, be ready. Like, I'm ready. I'm putting in work. I'm confident.
Be ready.
I'm ready to go in. Like, that's how you do it. So James Harden, everybody's for the MVP this year. Where does Houston go? I mean, James Harden, you're not going to get the regular season calls.
Cookies like crack. So you know that.
That's Asia's Cookies.
Shout out to Asia's Cookies.
Asia's Cookies.
Grab 'em.
Hit Sports Talk Live up for the culture if you want to get some cookies.
Red velvet, chocolate chip. The list goes on.
Cakes, pies, whatever you need.
Yeah.
Ooh, dangerous.
Under the sky. These two, Chris Paul, I think it's pretty much, he's run his course. James Harden. What's the James Harden legacy? He's a guy that can score. Him and we're gonna get to Kyrie Irving in a second. Don't worry. He just goes on there like regular season. Yeah, they're gonna give me the calls, but when it comes down to crunch time, is it the offense of D'Antonio? This ISO ball? Is it that just can't win when you're playing a great team? Or they play? I just don't. I don't like their offense. Looks like 21 to me. It looks like that game 21, and that's what it looks like to me. Like, you have to play that. Like, you can rebound everybody for themselves. You try to get to 21 and everything like that. Nothing coordinated. Making plays, whatever, picks and screens. It's a pick and roll
They
league.
street ballers.
And so, what do you think goes for Houston?
I
And
think,
they paid Capella and they paid Paul. They got contracts.
The
now.
thing about it is, I think that's what's going to mess him up was they gave Paul too much money for the amount of years he got left.
And Capella,
he's in his 15th, 16th year now. He's playing a lot of minutes, playoff minutes, for a long time. And I think they needed more of a big man. James needs a big man, to take the load off of him, because James does his work in playoffs and out of playoffs. Like, I won't want people to think that, everybody says he burns out. Well, I'm doing so much lifting, so I need a big man to just throw it into, and I can take off, 4 or 5 straight plays, and I can throw it in to somebody, and they can go to work down on the block. Go get me Joker. Get me Joker in the block, get me an MB, get me a Greek, get him somebody where, though, he can throw the ball on the post, and they can go
is he
to
going
work.
to throw the ball in the post?
I think he would if he had it. I think he would if he had that. Cousins. Somebody that can a brutal, somebody that can go down there and get some work. He got to do so much work.
Well, they rested Chris Paul most of the season.
Yeah.
They got to. He's done. He came the same year as Carmelo,
He's 34,
LeBron, and everybody else.
35.
Hey, man, you get into the mid-30s, you old.
D Wade
in sports anyway.
D
I
Wade
think
just hung it up. It's time for all of them.
I think it's hard for you, man, when you. So, like you said, James Harden needs somebody else to throw it to, and I think that's what they thought when they got Chris Paul.
Right.
That they can at times take the ball out of Harden's hands, give it to Chris Paul, let him,
Which they can.
Right, which is what they did. But
Right.
essentially, what it came down to is either Harden has the ball and he's dribbling until he creates
Right.
something either for himself or somebody else, or Chris Paul has the ball and he's dribbling until he creates something for
But
himself
if they're
or
just
somebody else.
if they're just dribbling, and they're not running anything, Golden
not
State's rested on defense.
Exactly. So
Like
you got them two guys dribbling out top, one or the other. And you got guys standing in the corners, and you got guys, Capella coming up to set a pick on either side, rolling to the basket, and that's their offense. So you figure when you get to, crunch time, when you need a bucket and your legs are tired and everybody's tired, and they know all I got to do is stay in front of him. Make him shoot a contested long three.
Right.
If he makes that, then he makes it.
Tip your hat.
So here's the thing for a guy like Harden, right? Now nobody, like 110%, we cannot deny that he's gifted on the offensive end.
Absolutely.
Right? When you average 36 points a game, that means you can do some things and people cannot stop what you do.
Absolutely.
Basically, right? So for me, it's not even about him. it comes down to coaching now, because you got a point guard, right, that is very efficient into team, meaning he's going to spread the ball around. He knows the right pass to make, and that puts pressure on the opposite team, right? But at the same time, and we spoke about this, I threw this out there before, Doug. Offense is offense, right? Mm-hmm. Sometimes you got to play defense.
Yeah.
You got to play defense. Okay, you average 36. This guy averages 25. This guy averages 20. Okay, what about the other end? You gonna let somebody put them same numbers up on you that you put up on them? It's not going. You know, that's exactly what you're doing. So you listen. Whatever sport we talking about, I don't give a damn if it's soccer, basketball, football. You have to be able to stop someone.
Get stops. That's what they talk about.
You got to get stops. Does Houston present the ability to say, like, okay, if we score, then we can get a stop? They don't present that. They don't present that. So you run into a juggernaut, right? Like Golden State, who, okay, they got KD, they got Clay, they got Curry, all right? And then KD gets hurt, right? As a team that presents itself as some type of defensive team, they're supposed to win that game when a guy that almost averages 30 points a game is not playing.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's supposed to be me.
Yes.
You know, I'm looking as a coach. I'm licking my chops because I know I'm like, all right, the defensive intensity is up,
and we take one guy
and
out.
we got this guy who averages almost 30s not playing. Just be rugged and rough.
But because they don't play D, they
Because
allow
they don't
those
play
other
defense,
guys to come in and get
you
comfortable.
allow the other guys to come in to
They
get
came in and
comfortable,
got
and they got out of there.
I
And
just
it's
think,
similar to what
And especially
AI.
for
When
offensive-
AI was here,
Yeah.
like Larry Brown had the knowledge to know, like, listen, the guy that I have right now, he can score against anybody on any given night. I can't mess with him. I'm gonna just let him do what he does because he's so gifted.
Right.
So what I gotta do as a coach is say, you know what? I need the Theo Ratliffs. I need the Aaron McKees. I need the Tyrone Hills. I need the Mutombos.
Eric Snow.
The Eric Snows. They're all defensive minded guys. We got to stop these guys.
and I tell you something
And
too.
that's what
like,
worked.
From
Now,
being,
they did run into the Lakers, but that's a whole different
and
ballgame.
even from being from that, from even with bringing up the Sixers, even though Allen Iverson was he was the engine, right? He could give
Right.
him the ball, let him do what he do. Larry Brown still had plays in their system where, AI might run off a pick. And
Right.
somebody might slip something and Eric
Yeah.
Snow hit them for an easy layup.
'Cause you wanna keep
right,
the
you
pressure
still
on
had other
everybody.
stuff,
Yeah.
right? Whereas in Houston, they just give the ball to Harden and Paul, and you do whatever.
Yeah.
You make the play.
Well,
They don't run. They didn't. I didn't never. I've
he's
never seen.
he's special with that
But,
left.
but I agree. But what I'm saying is I've never seen a play for Houston watching them play
Right.
where it was a play designed to get somebody a shot.
Right. Yeah.
It
Well-
was either give it to Harden, give it to Paul. They pick and roll. They break somebody down. They get in the paint. You may get a lob
Right.
to Capella. You may get a bounce pass to somebody cutting to the basket
Or a kick to the
But that
corner.
wasn't the play.
Right.
The play. It was just, hey, give this guy the ball. You make a play.
Well,
And that's
he's
after
he's-
over and over and
right.
over again in 6 and 7 games. That has to get
Right.
mentally draining.
Well,
right?
Harden is so gifted, right? He's so gifted that it clouds the coach's judgment. Meaning, all year long, I ran through the screen, I got out, and I got the ball with 15 seconds left on the shot clock. And I've been scoring like that all year long. As a coach, you're probably not going to say, you know what, all right, man, this guy, the ball goes in 60% of the time when we run this for him, then you're going to let him do it. So that's what I'm saying. It comes down to coaching to where, all right, if that's what he needs to do to make buckets, that's one thing. But now I got to have the personnel on the opposite end
Them losing
to
Trevor
keep
Ariza was
them,
big,
to keep them from getting the ball to making it.
figure-
Because 36 is 36,
Right.
however you
But
want to look at
but
it.
What do you do? What do you do as a coach to make those plays or those decisions take some pressure off of him?
Well, the thing about it is, we already know who D'Antoni is from
Yeah,
the
There
history.
he
His
is right
history.
there. He's coming back. He's coming back.
He's going to run. I mean,
The owner said that loss was unacceptable.
Oh, did he?
Yeah.
All right, so that means that sounds like he might not be coming back. But if he's an offensive-minded guy, that's not working. It's not working.
I just got so many questions. I mean, I'm looking at the game, right, and I'm seeing Capella didn't have such a huge impact on the game, right? And I'm seeing Nene out there, and they making their little plays, but in that game, I'm wondering, where's Kenneth Fareed? You're getting brutalized on the boards, right?
Yeah.
This guy is an energizer bunny. He's a rebounding machine.
At least we saw in Denver, right?
And he's that undersized. He could play that center role in small ball.
Yeah.
Right? He can switch off and play a little D or whatever, but he's a rebounding machine. And he can also catch those lobs and finish around the basket. So I'm like, where was he at? Where were the adjustments on D'Antoni's part? Like I said, when things weren't working.
You got defensive guys, you got Nene, you got him.
But I don't think it works the way how they're working there. If you got an offensive team, I think you need to be a defensive coach. I don't think you're not going to enhance James Harden's game by bringing an offensive guy, offensive coach. Absolutely, he's going to do, no matter who his coach is, do his numbers. So I think you need to bring somebody in that's going to crack down on everybody, and hold them accountable on that defensive end. Whereas though Chris Paul, and they're going to give you those same numbers no matter if they got a defensive coach or an offensive coach. Right. Now those other players are going to play different if they got an offensive coach or defensive coach. Right. But James is still going to give you 25 every night.
I just put it in I always try to put things in a different perspective to try to point it out, right? So imagine if you got, you have Randy Moss, guys like that, Calvin Johnson, you could just throw the ball up there and go get it, right?
Right.
But offenses in the NFL don't line up and just say, go deep.
Yeah.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I'm just going to throw it up to you 3 times, and if you out of them 3 times, you're going to catch one, and we're going to keep the drive alive. You know what I'm saying? They run plays.
Yeah. Right.
They run plays, and even those guys have to, they have to help that number one guy out to get them in a position where they can make that play. You know what I'm saying? So, but when you bring down, essentially what Houston does is they line up. If they were a football team, they would line up and say, "Hey,
Dallas Cowboys 1990s."
Right, I got Randy Moss over here, or I got Michael Irvin over here, Emmitt Smith in the backfield. One of them's getting the ball, you stop us, and that's what they do.
Right.
They don't do anything deceptive.
Right.
They don't do anything.
A screen, a pick,
no motion, none of that.
nothing.
It's just 1-on-1. You beat your guy and make a play.
And so with
and
that being
that's
said,
hard to play like that for the entire game against good teams.
Mind, he's not even using his mind. He's actually.
He's keeping it simple.
I'm gonna let you do what you do.
He's even falling into the James Harden game, instead of him.
Like, I'm keeping
making
it
everything
simple.
He's not even running.
He's basically saying that, okay, if we set this pick, we get this mismatch. You can get in the paint, you can get a shot off whenever you want. We make this many threes.
Pick and roll is
even if we shoot a low percentage, but we shoot a high amount, we'll still score this many points. He's playing like that, but it's like, the toll that it takes on that one player through 4, 5, 6, 7 games is immense. And now you're talking about you doing that for 1, 2, 3 playoff rounds,
and
that's tough.
They're playing every other night.
Well, every other night
tough.
and travel,
travel,
it's crazy. It's definitely. I mean, it'll be interesting to see if
That's
D'Antoni.
tough. I mean, like you say, mentally, you have to make the right pass, the right play every time.
And that
You know what I'm saying? There's no play design to say, hey, when you make this cut and catch this pass, you should have this shot. But if that shot's not open, this dump down pass should be here into the post, or you also got this guy in the corner. Like it's all on you.
Even
it's all on you to make the right decision.
They run the 2-man game, but they also run the plays with the 2-man game.
Yeah,
they run a whole lot of plays. Yeah, they don't just go and let them just play free ball. They still run a lot of plays.
Yeah. We got some shout outs.
Oh, shout him out. Shout him out.
Mr. Wesley Dotson.
Mr. Wesley.
All right. He's saying he got the whole blueprint laid out for Mr. Simmons in Philly.
Okay.
He actually needs to hook up with Mr. Simmons.
Okay, definitely.
Which he has the capabilities, but we'll get into that some other day. Shelly Blackstone, how are you? Thanks for tuning in. We have Miss Grace Furtado. How are you?
How you doing,
Thanks
Miss
for
Grace?
joining. Mr. Denny Brown, Camden High alum.
How you doing,
What's up,
Denny?
brother?
Thanks for tuning in.
Miss Melinda Mac Hargrove, how are you? Miss Rocky Brickhouse.
Miss Brickhouse.
Miss Brickhouse, how you doing?
In the
Christina
building.
Barriari. How are you? Thanks for joining us, Lori Cook. Mr. Howard, Pomeroy High School Athletic Director.
Okay.
He used to let me cut study hall and read the newspaper.
Wow.
But we're not going to get into
Current
that right
events,
now.
you got to
right?
stay current.
Mr. Howard Pomeroy, how are you, man?
Brickhouse one of the top fans too. You
Yeah.
know, that's top supporter right there.
Director J. Jennings. Mr. Morgan. Cousin Ava Farmer, how are you? Mr.
you doing?
James Kobe Jr., what's happening? Thanks for tuning in.
Thanks for doing that. Sports Talk Live for the culture.
We got Dre. We got
What's up, Dre?
We got cousin Dre.
Was it Keith Moore in the born?
Keith Moore in the building, you know.
Big Sixers fan.
Yeah.
10-9-8-76ers.
So he's not going to be able to sleep tonight.
Yeah, he's tossing and turning. Definitely. But let's jump into Milwaukee, Boston. The only thing that was really, Milwaukee had a hiccup game 1. Paul Pierce said it was over. They said, not so fast, Mr. Pierce. And went on to win the next 4 games, and got Boston out of there with a quickie. The Greek Freak has been, Giannis has been just phenomenal, playing well, leading, driving, shooting threes, going to the basket. Millsap is tremendous.
Playing like a number 2.
Yeah, playing like a number 2. And they're just playing ball. Guys hitting threes, guys doing what they have to do, playing good team defense. And the Celtics, who a lot of people felt, Duke in particular,
Yes, absolutely.
that they were going to the finals.
I will take it.
Yeah.
They were
Take all of it.
He ain't got to take it
Oh,
all.
no. I got to.
He ain't got to take it all. I thought they were going to.
We thought what came back and what they had would be formidable in the East. Like, we just gave them the East.
Right.
The question from the beginning of the season was, can they beat Golden State? I mean, that was the default question. It wasn't like,
Right.
oh, they're going to come out the East. Well,
Right.
That's a done deal.
Right.
But can they beat Golden State was the question that was asked a lot. Now, Kyrie came back. And I'll point out to this, and I've said this many times on the show.
Yes, you have.
I've said this many times on the show. If you go back to Game 7 last year,
Yeah.
go back
when
to
we
Game
couldn't find him,
7
when we couldn't
last
find him.
year in Boston, and he elected to have some nasal surgery, not life-threatening. His appendix didn't burst, anything like that. He chose not to be there. He made a conscious effort and a conscious decision. I'm not going to be here to support my troops, even though I can't play in Game 7. Now it's come out. A lot of people were saying that was a big hit to his ego, how far they went without him. And now you come back next year where guys are going to have to cut their playing time and cut their potential money. Cutting playing time means cutting them dollars.
Yeah.
And you didn't have the audacity to show up for Game 7 and support us when we playing against a guy you played with for years, and you may give us some insight, some ins and outs on what's going on, but you were too busy to do something else. Not a leader. Very good basketball handle, finishes around the rim really well, but that don't get chips. And that don't develop a championship culture.
Yeah.
That don't. And I think you saw the backlash this year. A lot of people say it's selfish. He's back. When you lose, everybody comes in.
Yeah, pretty
everybody's
much.
going to start talking.
You're hearing everything now.
But now everybody's not. Rozier said he sacrificed the most because he's a legit point guard in this league, and now he had to take the back seat. And so you see. So what is Kyrie's future? We debated, was he a number 1? Can Paul Pierce said, he might have been right about this, Kyrie can't win a championship as your best player on your team because it's not about ability, about leadership and about that culture we talk about. Yeah. So what is Kyrie? He was a great He was a great Robin. Can he still be Batman? Because he's young enough. Can he still go somewhere, be the man? And would you think he can lead a franchise and develop a culture for a championship?
My homie Nate just chimed in. He said, I believe someone had Boston coming out. That was me. That was me and Duke. We had him coming out.
Listen, it was millions of others that had him coming out.
So it wasn't just us, right?
We'd take that. We'd take the 2-piece to the chin.
My homie Nate, top fan, one of the top fans, top supporters, But he said that was his exact words. What Sunni just said. But I don't think he can be a number one. I think some nights, and I think that's where he needs to go play with someone. You know, that's a true number one that has some nights that they defer, that they can take off. Like I think he could be the leading scorer, you know, some nights for the team. But far as like the true number one, no. That's why I think my homie needs to be at his door right now, you know, saying that, you know, I don't want Kevin Durant because we ain't gonna get him. I don't want Kawhi because we ain't gonna get him. I need you, you know. LeBron needs to be there and say, I need you to sign, come over to LA, you know, and make him feel like, you know, he's something, and bring that confidence back that he lost.
That's what has to happen?
That's what has to happen,
Okay.
you know.
I think, man, it's, what is the one saying that says, heavy is the head that wears the crown?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Or be careful what you wish for. Like, you figure, man, guys, ego, man, is a big thing, man.
A very big thing. And you mix the ego and the money, boy. I don't know how that's going to turn out.
Pride before fall.
One thing, my man Jemai Springfield, shout out to him. He was watching. One thing
Jemai,
he said about Golden State is they don't care who get the glory. And if you
not at all.
If you recognize a lot of those guys took pay cuts to stay in that situation, you know what I mean? Because I would imagine they enjoy winning and playing with each other the way they play.
And they in the sun at 85 every day.
And you figure these guys, this is these guys have shooters everywhere and they're unselfish. They move the ball. They don't worry about who's getting the numbers, who's getting the accolades. They just win, right? And then you look at other guys around the league and man, they not even happy with getting the money.
Yeah. But
they want the money.
Doug, you hit on a key point there. And a key shot by Klay Thompson last night. Draymond gets the rebound. He's going in. He kicks it out to Iguodala. Iguodala's had a really good 3-point shooting night. I mean, he hit some big threes. Paul talked about it in his press conference.
Right.
He might have been 5 or 8 from 3-point land. But Iggy knows Klay is the 3-point shooter.
Right.
He knows even though I'm open, if I took that shot, nobody would say I was being selfish or whatever.
Right.
That's a good shot from the corner. But he said, no, I got to move the ball to the 3-point guy, which is Klay.
Right.
Gets it to Klay, bang. That's a championship culture.
Right.
That's what other teams don't have along,
and not enough guys have that, man. Like everybody wants to be, you know, they were Kobe fans or they were Mike Jordan fans.
Right.
Everybody wants to cut themselves from that cloth, and they're not cut from that cloth, right? So it's not too many Mike Jordans. It's not too many Kobe's.
I don't think they understand it. They're not cut from that
alpha
cloth.
dog, right? They don't, right? And it's not too many guys that don't understand that they're not cut from that cloth. Just because you watched a couple of his videos or you got one of his quotes pasted on your wall, that doesn't make you Kobe. Right. You know what I'm saying? Not too many guys could survive in the position that Kobe put himself in when he wanted to be away from Shaq and he wanted to be the guy. You know what I mean? Not too many guys are built for that.
I look at names
people,
that they give these guys.
And a lot of these guys, they want that. I'm like Kobe. But they don't realize that they not like Kobe.
What they don't realize,
even Kobe was like, yo, better give me some help.
Somebody gives you names like Mamba, and like Dr. J, and things like that. Like I'm not naming myself,
right?
Like somebody's naming me, you know.
But the thing about it is, what they didn't realize is what Kobe went through in between Gasol and Shaq. You know, where he had to put up so much numbers, where he tore, you know, he was a tremendous athlete.
But that's my point I'm trying to make. He was built for that. He was built to withstand that time between that.
Right. They don't put that work in that Kobe puts in. You know
Kyrie been in this position for 18 months and he ready to bail.
He's exhausted.
He can't take it.
And he's won one playoff series as the man against the Pacers with their best player hurt. That's his playoff production.
Yeah, I mean, and like you said, there's a reason why he apologized to LeBron earlier this year.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
That weight, you know what I mean? They put that weight on you.
I didn't understand what you was going through. I do now, kinda.
Yeah.
And I can't
Everybody don't have those shoulders, man.
You know what I'm saying? And that's what I'm saying. Like guys, and it's not just, you know, it's people everywhere, man. They see things that other people got and they want that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I want what he has, but they don't want the responsibility.
Right, but it takes
they don't
to
want
do it.
Right. They don't want to put in the work that it takes to get there. They want it instantly. You know what I mean? And it just doesn't happen that way. Yeah. And like you said, man, a lot of these guys, man, they find out the hard way, and unfortunately, they might blow up a good situation that they were in, sort of like Kobe with Shaq. But he was able to, persevere, weather the storm, whatever you want to call it, and get back to that level. And a lot of these guys don't understand that. Just because you going deep in the playoffs right now and you playing for championships now, that's not guaranteed to be what your career is going to be when you leave here
at all.
And then they figure it out the hard way, and then they start longing for
I think there's a great meme out there. It was about a ball. I don't know if you ever saw it. It's about a ballerina. Everybody saw how beautiful ballerinas are and everything like that. Everybody wants to be a ballerina, lead, a dancer, all the attention. And then they take off the ballerina's shoes and you look at a ballerina's feet. And they are mangled.
Like the mountains,
those things are
the Caucasus Mountains and the Appalachian Mountains.
Toes broken, blood vessel. I mean,
the feet you don't want to rub. But you appreciate them.
But they are mangled. So everybody wants the fame and glory, but nobody wants that sacrifice. Yeah, and that's where you get down to. And you got to put yourself in a good situation. You want to find out, hey, you can't blame Kyrie. I think I'm the man. I'm going to find out that I'm the man. But it's more than just scoring baskets. It's more than just being good with the ball. It's more about you are an extension of the coach when you the man. You're an extension of the organization. All that goes with it. People going to look at you for leadership. You're going to set the tone and the temperature and the culture for the team. Yeah. And that's what it's all about.
This is what I got for y'all, a question for y'all. Now, when you don't leave, it's about championships, it's about winning. But when you don't leave, and it's time for you to put that jersey up, and let's take Klay Thompson, let's take Pittman. Pittman would be Pittman could have been a number one on somebody else's team. I believe everybody that watched the game knew that he could have been a number one. He didn't have to stay in Michael's shadow his whole career.
Right.
So
let's
not
move
saying,
it back then,
he pretty much almost got to the championship without Mike.
Bad call, he would have went.
Bad call.
Hollins made that bad call.
Right, a bad call.
Davis.
Bad call didn't let him make it. Right. He pretty much would have went. Without Michael. So we know he could have been a number one in the NBA that time, that era.
Can't forget the system.
Yeah, the system
triangle.
Yeah. But we know he would have been a number one in that time, in that era. But now with his legacy, he's not looked at as that.
Right.
Now take Klay Thompson. He might sneak into the Hall of Fame if he stays on Golden State because of the rings and everything. But if he leaves, he's in the Hall of Fame. If he goes and he beats the guy somewhere else, do that bother you? Like, what if he doesn't even get in the Hall of Fame? You know what I'm saying? Like when it's time to put the jersey up, okay, right now it's about team and everything. But when you retire as you, do you want to be the person where you know what you can do and it shows, your numbers show? Like Klay Thompson sometimes has 9 points, 12 points. Like he can score 24 points a night.
So this is the thing I state, man. I always try to tell people in sports, I tell my kids and everything else. The only thing that matters in sport is the respect of your opponent. If you can talk to your opponents, or your opponents can sit in an interview after your career is done or whatever, and they say, yo, this guy was a problem. Yeah. That's all you can control. Is the people that you play against know that the people you play against and the people you play with, they know that, hey, this guy was the real deal. So when you talk about Scottie Pippen, right? Yeah, he won all his championships with Mike. They didn't get there without Mike.
Mike was 1-9 before he got there.
He was swept in the first round.
But when you talk to people, that had to play against Scottie Pippen, and they start talking about his defensive prowess,
he guarded
and
everybody.
the way he ran the floor, and the things he could do. That's all you need.
Right.
That's all the accolades that you need. When I as a former athlete, Duke, I'm sure you'll say the same thing. Sunni, Jonathan, all play sports, whatever. When you see somebody that you actually played against, or you hear a compliment about yourself from somebody you played with,
right?
That means more than that. That's what it's about. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh yeah. I think that came to head with Scottie when the whole Kukoc thing, when he didn't come back in the game that time.
Right.
But the whole thing was like, look, it's my time to take the last.
Right. He was
like, yo, what you want to Kukoc?
And at some point, that's when it became twisted that, well, if you don't get to take the last shot, then technically you're not the man. Or if you don't get if you don't lead the team by yourself as a leading scorer, then somewhat your career is somewhat diminished. I don't know when that happened, right? Because a team is a team. You're supposed to play your role on the team, and you do whatever the team asks you to do. Right? You know what I mean? So as far as I'm concerned, like to me, that's BS.
Yeah.
That's an excuse for the guy with the huge ego that wants to be known as, I'm the guy.
Yeah,
so you'll break up a championship team. Yeah. Like anybody on Golden State the last couple of years could have broke that team up.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Right? But those guys sacrificed, took less money, took less of a role, so they could continue to win.
But that's what I'm getting at, though. So will you be okay with that? Will Clay be okay not getting into the Hall of Fame?
I think
shout out to Charles Johnson and Gene Linder.
One thing is, I think he'll get in, right? But number two is, I think he'll be okay because the guys that he play against in his time will say, man, Klay Thompson was that guy.
Yeah. I mean, and he's making a pretty good piece of change too.
But his shots go from 10 shots a game to 15, 24 shots a game.
Think about it this way. Like Chris Webber, he's not in, he's been trying to get in. But the guys that played against Chris Webber say, man, Chris Webber was that guy. That's all the acknowledgement you need when guys say, man, I can't believe he's not in.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because when I played against him.
And there's something about winning the chip. And there's something about
which is a little overrated to me.
Right. I'm talking about as the satisfaction from it. I think Goose played defensive tackle for
Saragusa. Right.
He said when they won that chip and they closed that locker room door before the cameras came in, before the media came in, before anybody else came in, he said there's no feeling like that in the world.
Oh.
And he said he wished he could bottle it up. And he said so winning cures a lot of things. Championships.
I saw an interview this morning from David West after they won that first championship. Yeah. When he was a part of the Warriors. I think it was their second championship, but his first. I'm not mistaken, right? And he was like, man, they said, the David Aldridge said, like, man, you lost a lot of money coming here. And he like, man, look, and it's worth it. Like, he's like, it's nothing like, this feeling right now.
Right.
And he was like, it's not about this moment. It's about the whole journey of the whole season.
Yeah,
all the work that we put in that everybody didn't see. You know what I'm saying? That and that makes this all worth it, right? This was a championship team. And he was like, we had great players that sacrificed personal gain, their personal gain for the betterment of the team.
Well, here's a thing on a lower level. Now, I won a junior college national championship, right? And we went 30-0. There is no money involved, right? It's nothing. It's no. We trying to get somewhere, right?
Yeah.
But I can tell you this: I don't know if I'll trade that in for anything on a small level.
Yeah.
For anything, just because, like, at the end of the day, when you start talking about guys, if they play sports on a midget level, on the high school level, on the college level, how many people went 30-0? Like,
many.
It was tears in that thing, like all the way through, because we know that what we found out was when we were there, it's not about you. You know what I'm saying? It's not about you.
It's sports. It's a culture of sports.
Yeah, it's not about you.
I remember everybody I played with. I don't remember it was my English class. I remember everybody I played with. I remember these games. I remember we played with under the lights.
And you want to get some tears about some grown men, and you're going to get them.
Right,
you know
say
what I mean?
You remember the good times. You remember the bad times.
Oh, yeah.
You remember the opponents.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I'm sure as a basketball player, you still got a friend or two that say, I remember when you got dunked on. You know what I mean?
Straight brotherhood.
I remember, dude, you got knocked out.
I told you watch the backdoor cut.
Straight brotherhood. And that's what it's about. Like you say, nobody, I don't remember being on a team when I was playing ball. And like, again, I ain't playing the NFL. I didn't play in the NBA, nothing like that. But I don't remember being on a team and saying, hey, I want to get introduced last in introductions because I'm the man.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Or having an attitude because I wasn't. Or, I didn't make it in the yearbook. I'm pissed.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, none of that didn't matter. Like, we just played. Yeah. We just wanted to play.
Mm-hmm.
You know
exactly.
I mean? And even in losing, we just wanted to play.
It's fun.
You know what I'm saying? And be with your friends and be with your teammates and like, you practice, you work hard, you give it everything you got, and you go out there, and then the results are the results. And the only time I might have regretted something is if I knew for whatever reason I didn't give it everything I had.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Maybe, if I was hurt or whatever it was. Yeah. Those are the only time, or, I didn't do what all I needed to do in practice that week to get ready for the game, and I didn't play good. So, this stuff this is new stuff. You know what I mean? Where hey, I want to be the man. You just imagine.
I think it has a lot to do with the social media. Everything's out. Everything's 24 hours now. Everybody's tweeting. Everybody's this.
Do you think it's agent motivated?
And
I don't.
Nah,
I just think
it's motivating. I think he's just there though. I think
it's personal. I mean, imagine if Magic Johnson said, "Hey, man, it's either me or Kareem.
Yeah,
one of us got to go." You know what I'm saying? That stuff didn't happen, man. It wasn't until
you had so much camaraderie on the Lakers when they traded Norm Nixon for Byron Scott. They blocked every shot Byron Scott took in practice, his first practice. They were so pissed they traded Norm Nixon away. Byron Scott said, "I couldn't get a shot off in practice." Everybody, they just stole my stuff because you built that team, you built that camaraderie.
And like you say nowadays, like I remember hearing was it Cedric Maxwell talking about when Larry Bird came and they wanted to see what he had.
Yeah.
You know, this white dude's coming in here and they saw that, oh man, this dude could play.
But yeah.
You know, them guys wasn't like, man, I gotta sit on the bench and I ain't getting no minutes. And them guys talk about those teams like, man, we was part of something great.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And nowadays people don't want to be a part of something great. They only want to be a part of something great if they are the main reason why it's great.
That's the whole different era that we got going on.
It's just a difference. Like me being in that era of this generation, it's just a difference when you that great person, but you're not that great person, but you're not getting even.
Look, nobody can win it by themselves. If they could win it by themselves, they roll one guy out there and save a lot of money.
Like you only remember, like you only remember the great person. Like you only remember the great person when you go look at the books, when you go look at everything, when you go look back in the day.
I think if you look at the level. You remember players and you remember who contributed to a team and what they did.
Like take this for example.
If I know that if the Bulls won, they won them championships. Scottie Pippen was Steve Paxson iced the first championship.
Right.
Steve Paxson was Jordan passed hit 3 times against the Lakers.
Right.
Steve Kerr hit a shot for the win them and shit. So I mean, all those guys play a role, in winning championships and do. And look, let me tell you something, Jonathan. When the Sixers beat the Lakers in '83, Earl Cureton came in with Moses in foul trouble. I still remember to the day. Earl Cureton threw a hook shot at Kareem and made it. We went berserk. We went ballistic. Earl the Twirl out of Detroit University. Like and you don't think Earl remember that hook shot?
Oh yeah, he remember.
You don't think the Sixers when they get together and they talk
all day?
But
remember the hook shot you threw on Kareem?
Yeah, but when the kids look at the books, they don't see that. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like they don't see that how good Pittman was. They don't know that Pittman let Jordan be able to take off nights.
But some things you gotta know,
right? And like Jordan got he got those defensive players of the defensive team, defensive player of the year, but he wasn't never guarding the best player. Pittman was guarding him, but you can get it guarding John.
But if you're great, you have to have. If you're great and all the work you put in to be great, and a wise man told me this one time: if you know the truth, why argue opinion?
Yes.
If you know the truth, why argue opinion?
Yeah. Right. And you don't even have to argue. Right. You can just walk away. Right. You can just leave.
Here's the thing, right? Go find a video or audio recording of Michael Jordan saying he's the greatest basketball player of all time.
He said I never said that.
You won't find it.
No.
You know what I mean?
Hey man, your production tells
I never said it.
And I won't find it.
And he came from North Carolina at a different time. He didn't make the
even with Shaq, when he runs around, he said, hey, I was the most dominant big man. And, all right, maybe you were. But don't nobody want to hear that all day long, man.
Well, that's Embiid now.
That's my point exactly.
Game 7, let's go.
And meanwhile, you see, like we said, Kawhi averaging 38 on 62% shooting, and the most you might get out of him is a fist pump.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? After one of the biggest shots in the playoffs. That's the most you gonna get.
Joker too.
You don't have when you that man, when you that guy, you don't have to talk yourself up.
Well, that's your game.
Other people will.
But your game is your game. That was KG game.
Other people will.
If that was Rashid game, if KG dunk on you, he gonna holler in your face. If Duncan dunk on you, he's just gonna run down court.
But this is the thing. But see, that's the thing. KG gonna give you that though every night. He's running his mouth, he's yapping every night, all day, every day, all day. It wasn't selective where I'm having a great game, so I'm gonna talk some trash. You know what I mean? It wasn't, I just dunked on you, so I'm gonna talk some trash. He was talking trash anyway.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Duncan was never talking trash. Like that's the thing. And with Embiid, and some of these other guys, man, that's just, man, I really don't think they get it. And man, you could say they young or whatever, but to me, all of that is a cop out, man. You know what you're doing.
Yeah.
If you celebrating and flying planes and
Front
one thing
running.
when you winning, and one thing to MB's credit, I can't say he didn't get up pissed off or whatever when they started doing it back to him.
Yeah.
You can't.
Yeah.
You got to live with that. If you bring that, you got to live with that.
right.
Matter of fact, you should be embracing that.
Yeah.
Oh, I love it when they start doing that kind of stuff.
Yeah, it's gonna hype me up more. You know exactly.
So what we got with Tatum?
Tatum, just want to quick jump on Tatum. Last year he was the darling of the playoffs, the pick. His play got Colangelo out of here in Philadelphia and the gate or whatever. What's up with Tatum? I think they're going to try to keep Tatum. I think if Kyrie goes, I think he's going to go. I think they're going to use their assets to try to bring a big man in, Davis, and put him around these young cats. And I think Tatum's going to be one of their pieces. What do you think? Are they going to move Tatum or try to keep? I just don't. Do you think? I don't think Kyrie's coming back.
Kyrie's gone.
He's not coming back.
Yeah, I think it's going.
He's not coming back. It didn't work. He lost to a team that had one player, that just
4-1.
just an attacker. Like I don't even see how you lose to that type of style. Like no knock on Greek Freak. We know he's great, but he just he just turn his engine on and come at you. I don't know how can't you figure out a defense to guard that? Even if you put a small forward on him to guard him out in the open,
right?
And then the big man, even if and then the big man is down low. You put a small forward to guard him out there when he's out in the 3-point line. Then when he drives, you double team. When he posts, you double. I don't understand how you just let this guy grab the ball at the 3-point line and run straight to the basket.
But he's been putting
every
in moves.
play.
He's been
even though he only need 3 steps to get to the basket.
He's been Euro stepping,
Right.
finger rolling,
Even though he only-
rolling,
7'3" wingspan,
and then hitting passes, hitting people.
He's closer to that basket than
I just don't see why do you still play the same game though? Why do you still have all?
They tried to double
Horford. Why do you just have him sitting on
They
the
tried
block?
to play him like they played Ben, but it was.
But it's a
different animal.
He's a different attacker. You can't attack you. I just didn't get that by Boston, man.
Before we get out of there, I want to take a shout out to Bert Cooper. Bert Cooper,
Big Bert,
Chant,
the PA Boxing Hall of Fame.
Yeah, he passed away. He lost his battle with pancreatic cancer. It's from my neighborhood, Darby Township, 2-5, Academy Park alumni, Sherman Hill. Gave Holyfield all he wanted. On 6 days' notice.
On 6 days' notice.
On 6 days.
That says it all.
I be seeing Bert. I used to see him in Darby a lot. Homie that was boxing a little bit. Homie from Chester, he went up there for Bert Gym, and he said, "Listen, I'm not sparring with him no more." He said, "Bert hit me in my head, man. I had a headache for over a month, man."
Bert was strong, man. Bert would have been a starting fullback on Academy Park's first year. The first year the school was merged together. He'd have been starting fullback, but he said, this football thing wasn't for me.
I'm not surprised.
But he gave Holyfield everything he wanted, and then some. We can take a check it out here right now. He gave him a whole lot of.
In his corner.
Even when I watched this
He gave him a whole lot of that backyard boogie.
Yeah, this is round 3. This is one of the best rounds.
Cooper grins as if
Even when I watched this
means
fight.
winning.
Cooper took this on 6 days' notice.
6 days notice. And when I watch this fight, I'd be like, "Come on, Bert, you got it." Like I know what the verdict was, but when I watch it, I'm like, "You got him right now, Bert." I'm like, hit him with that sneaky joint again, like he had that sneaky short joint. I'm like, hit him with it again, Bert. You got him. I'm on Bert. Even when I watch this joint, man, I'm like,
That hook.
yeah, that sneaky hook, that little short joint.
Hey man, you can try to first of all, 6 days notice, you're not gonna get your body looking like that, So you stand in the gym, you stand in some type of shape, and then,
This is what I'm saying. This is what I'm saying.
Well, listen. No, the ropes wasn't for the ropes.
Yeah, the ropes kept me.
Oh yeah.
Listen, you don't want to get in the bar fight.
Listen, look. Bert was like, I was in the pizza store. Bert was like, "Yo, buy me a beer." But just the way it came off his mouth, it was like, you gotta buy me a beer. Like it was like, I said, Bert, you want two? I said, Bert, you want two? You get two? You're like, yeah, buy me a beer, man. You know, cause you know I am, right? I said, yeah, you Bert. He said, yeah, you know I took Holyfield. I went with Holyfield. I said, yeah, I know. I said, yeah, man, you buy me a beer, man. I said, yeah, I got you. Don't worry about it.
This one is 6 days kicks in right here. That's when you say, okay, Holyfield does this probably all year round.
Yeah.
And I just got off the couch.
He would not go down.
No.
I was a little bit watching.
Oh, they rumbled.
Then the fight thing, the game did change. Yeah.
Yo, the whole
I
time.
remember this fight.
The game didn't change. But you gotta, you know, I mean, you look at these guys, man, you know, it's
Stop this one, by the way.
Especially if you the money man.
you in the third round.
God, Holyfield was cut up. Man.
Oh yeah. Listen, one thing about him is you get in the ring, it's going to be a rumble with Holyfield. Ask Tyson.
Yeah, and that's the thing with Holyfield. Like, bro, it don't matter.
Yeah.
It don't matter who you are. Like Holyfield.
But the more impressive thing for me for Holyfield is that Holyfield was like 225. Like you light.
Yeah, he was a cruiserweight that came up.
You light. So
Yeah, he worked his way up to
yeah. So
because he would have had those super heavyweights back then, those real big guys.
right.
A lot of people, you know, I tell everybody, Holyfield had the most heart out of any boxer.
Oh yeah.
I don't care who you talking about.
Like that
Ali,
size, man.
Mike, I don't look.
Because
Holyfield
he's small.
Holyfield hard. He counted out. He getting welled on.
Hey man, this
he
guy,
get this little bouncing.
You fighting guys 260,
Look,
270,
Look,
and you 225.
Look, it'd be the 9th, 10th round. He flat out of gas. He just start bouncing, and you just see him coming on. Like he just start like I mean, and he taking whatever you throwing, and he bringing it.
And you 225.
Yo, definitely, yo guys, we had a session today.
Oh, yeah.
Definitely.
Session.
Oh, definitely, always fun. Definitely. Be back next week. We'll talk about what happened at the Kentucky Derby. My horse got scratched. They had a little controversy. You talk about making a call. You talk about officials making a call or not
Controversy.
a call.
We might have to come up with another word.
That call in the Kentucky Derby, it shifted millions. You know what I mean?
Did it ever?
You know, they did that thing kind of in secrecy. But yeah, we definitely gonna hit on that. Next Sunday, I will be at Chester Panthers for their banquet. I'm gonna stream there live next Sunday from Harris. The Chester Panthers with Charles Thompson. And also, you can catch us Tuesday on the Indie Music Network, 9 o'clock with a replay. Indie, definitely catch the podcast there. And once again, shout out to all the wonderful mothers out there. Take care of mom.
Happy Mother's Day to you for the sacrifices and
always
everything.
love my mama. She's my favorite girl.
My
we
favorite
outta
girl.
here.
No woman like my mama.